Palestinians and much of the Arab world
Shalom,
blamed Israel
shalom, giving
nonetheless,
all
saying it
praises
had
to
struck the medical
Yahweh,
facility and that hundreds.
Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Rakakadash, give honors to the apostles. Give honors to the apostles and the elders of GMS, the ruling, teach world scriptures and citations to the Akim that are doing this work in truth and in faith and in all sincerity, making their bodies a living sacrifice. You know, as we head to the fulfillment of the kingdom of heaven. You know, what I have here today is basically, a live chat that's of the war that's going on in Israel, the small hats, the deceivers, the wannabes. And so I let this play, but we all know that that's a synagogue of Satan, because he sits in a chief seat as far as the way that the nations move. I digress. Let this play.
Had been killed. The IDF also shared this aerial footage collected by a military drone showing a blast that they say is inconsistent with Israeli weaponry. The blast site lacks the telltale craters made by military-grade high explosives used in Israeli ordnance, and the blast appears to have occurred in the building's parking lot. IDF radar detected outgoing.
And of course, they got some of the best weapons out there, but the Lord is going to put a spirit Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua is going to put a spirit on these heathen nations to come up against those that pretend to be Jews and are not, but do lie.
Fire at the same moment of the blast, and that occurred last night, and intercepted communications between terror groups indicating that the Islamic Jihad fired the rockets. The Army determined there were no Air Force, ground, or naval attacks in the area at the time of the blast on the Al-Ali Baptist Hospital, and it's noteworthy that all of these claims have been verified by open source intelligence. So far, there have been 450 failed rocket launches from Gaza. Let's take a quick listen to the IDF spokesperson's unit.
I can confirm that an analysis of the IDF operational systems indicates that a barrage of rockets was fired by terrorists in Gaza, passing in close proximity to the Al-Hali Al-Ma'adi hospital in Gaza at the time it was hit. Intelligence from few sources that we have in our hands indicates that the Islamic Jihad is responsible for the failed rocket launch which hit the hospital in Gaza. I repeat, this is the responsibility of Islamic Jihad that killed innocents in the hospital in Gaza.
Yeah, they painting this narrative for the next world war. So they're painting the narrative of being a victim so that they can have justification to blow Hamas off the map.
And to tell us more about President Joe Biden's visit, we are now joined in Tel Aviv by Mary McAuliffe, I-24 News correspondent, with the American administration saying that they had some hard questions to their friend Israel during this visit. What does that mean?
That's right, Ariel. So the message the president here is trying to convey once he's going to be on the ground in Israel, he is coming on a solidarity and support trip. So he is here to say that he is standing behind the people of Israel after the horrible events that happened on October 7th and coming here to show that support in person on this visit. But he's also here as part of his efforts to try and contain this war and to trying to prevent it from escalating into a wider war with other regional actors getting involved. This is one of the main messages and one of his main tasks when he's here on the ground. as we know, we have been discussing over this past week, U.S. officials as well as other Western officials have been on the ground here in Israel, all the while trying to get some kind of negotiation done, trying to interact with this humanitarian aid, trying to get humanitarian aid and trying to get some of these refugees outside of the Gaza Strip, working with Egypt and Jordan and other regional partners to try and prevent what they're saying could be a looming humanitarian catastrophe as Israel prepares to go into the Gaza Strip with this massive operation that is planned. So this is one of the main things that he will be discussing with Israeli officials to try and prevent this from spiraling out of control and trying to put pressure on the Israelis to make sure that they know exactly what they're doing when they're going into Gaza, to see if they have an exit strategy and also try and see how they can prevent Iran and Hezbollah from also getting involved into this war, which would significantly change this operation here on the ground. So this is the message that we're going to hear from President Biden. This is his main task.
Well, thank you very much, Mary, for the explanation. We'll be coming back to you over the course of the day, particularly once Biden has landed, to understand what exactly is going on there. Now, before anything else, though, we are going to turn to our studio discussion panel that includes our senior correspondent, Owen Alterman, as well as our intelligence analyst, Rafael Yerushalmi. I'm going to start with you, Owen, because we were just talking about Biden's visit, and we have already seen that Biden's visit was supposed to include a visit to other Arab nations to discuss regional affairs, particularly those related to this war. That's been canceled. Has the U.S.
I really don't see how this guy is still living. He's falling all over the place. He's not there. So the Lord is keeping the spirit on this man by the way of Esau to fulfill prophecy. That's the only reason why I see this man still around. This devil. Esau Edom. They don't understand it. There's a major judgment for Esau Edom. And they're going to suffer by the hands of their captives, whose captives they were.
reached the limits of its influence?
No, I don't think the U.S. has reached the limits of its influence. It's obviously horrible timing with the events at the hospital last night. Of course, the Israeli military has said, and I think have every reason to be believed, that Israel didn't do it. That being as it may, Mahmoud Abbas is in an impossible position, and I think it can be understood why he wouldn't want to go to Amman or stay in Amman for that meeting. And that's essentially what National Security spokesperson John Kirby said on the flight from Washington to Tel Aviv. Look, it's obviously Biden would have wanted that meeting in Amman as a kind of counterbalance, right, to the solidarity visit here in Israel.
The Lord will not at all
acquit. Stronger emphasis.
The Lord will not at all acquit the wicked.
In this public face on the issue of the humanitarian situation in Gaza, which is obviously something he sees as being very, very important going forward. Look, it's not happening. I don't think it's the end of American influence in the region. I don't think it's the end of American influence in the Arab world. Far from it. But certainly,
this is not only spells the end of Babylon, aka America, but it spells the end of Esau, the heathen nations, and the 2/3. This the end of their world. That's it. It's a wrap. Okay, it is finished. So, the Most High Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, has declared the end from the beginning. And we're seeing a downfall of this wicked man and his society and his kingdom. So, making it short and sweet, giving our praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Rakakadash, and again double honors to the apostles and elders and the bishops that are doing this work in truth and sincerity. Shalom.